tell you exactly how I feel. I know that this is mutual. The future could be yours, alright, 'cause I can ride with you. Let me love you. One day is just all it takes to know that all these days.
All right, we're here on Chopping It Up with Buck with my man Ben Coates. Man, it has been too long. We just talk trash to each other on the other sidelines, having a good time. When you were with the Patriots, I was with the Colts. Some good battles. Y'all beat the brakes off of us in '93 when it was real cold in that old stadium. We all had the flu, and y'all put us in that little bitty locker room, 10 of us on IV, and y'all just came out and just bludgeoned us. But we had some good battles back then.
So that's y'all story, huh?
That's my story. That y'all took advantage of us on that.
We took advantage. The field was frozen. We knew what shoes to put on. We did know that playing in '93.
Hey,
It was cold.
y'all beat the brakes off
Yeah,
us.
I think it was like 40 something to
38 to nothing.
Yeah,
but I'll say
like
this
that.
though, you told me before the game, keep your helmet on, because them cats were throwing snowballs with batteries in them.
Oh, the fans can get brutal up there, up north,
Yeah.
So you just got to keep your helmet on and just pay attention to what's going on around you up there in that area. Back in those days.
Well, man, I'm so glad to have you on to talk about Livingstone College, just growing up in Greenwood, South Carolina. Your journey from high school to college to the NFL. Just tell us a little bit about that before we jump into the Patriots.
Well, basically, I was one of those kids, a kid of 8 by my mother and father, and I was 4 boys, 4 girls. And my father was a military guy. My 2 oldest brothers was military guys. And, I got to high school, my freshman year in high school, and I was like, well, I'm gonna play football, I'm gonna go to the military. I'm gonna do one or the other, right? That's when all these wars started breaking out. I said, well, I don't want to fight nobody's war, so I said, I'm gonna go to college somewhere.
Yeah.
So, I started, I played my senior year in high school. That's the only year I played.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I played my senior year in high school, started getting recruited by a lot of different schools. South Carolina State, got recruited by Savannah State, got recruited by Johnson C. Smith, Livingstone, a couple of
Did you play basketball also?
Yeah, I played basketball.
I knew you
also.
played
basketball, baseball.
Okay.
Baseball was my love. Baseball, my love. First
Mine
base
too.
and pitch.
Yeah.
I love baseball. If I had to go back and do it all again, I think I might have picked baseball. But anyway, since made the transition, we went on a lot of different recruiting trips. I came up to Charlotte on a recruiting trip. I got an offer to full scholarship, but I went to Savannah State, went down there. Shannon was my host.
Okay.
And as today we're doing a podcast, as I say, if we ever would have played together, everybody in the world know who would have been the tight end. Ain't no ifs, ands, or
He was
buts.
a receiver though. Then.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
but
what I mean.
His thing,
but we came out the same year.
Right,
in the draft.
exactly. His claim to fame is, he's a better tight end. Dude, when did you block anybody's in the 80s and the 90s? Come on now.
He started blocking them late in his career.
Well, cut block. I'll give him that.
On the
He cut
backside?
block on the backside. On the backside. We played together in Baltimore, so
Yeah, that's right.
when we played together, they ran behind me and Jonathan Ogden, me and Harry Swain, Sam Gass. So the film and the pictures don't lie. So it is what it is. I mean, fortunately, he's a good guy, good teammate. Camaraderie guy, HBCU guy. He deserved everything he got. I love the guy to death. So I came to Johnson C. Smith, and when I get there, my father just passed, so I went to Johnson C. Smith. They took the full scholarship off the table to a partial. So called up Livingstone, they still had the scholarship. So I came down to Salisbury, and everything else is history. I had an opportunity after my first year at Livingstone to go to State, North Carolina, but being a single parent, father had passed, and mother, she didn't have the type of money to pay for that first year to get onto scholarships. So I said, I'm gonna stay here at Livingstone, and everything, worked out for the best.
Yeah, gotta highlight Taylor Smoke Cigar. We're here, Taylor Smoke in Concord. Got a couple of locations. There's frequent spot here on the north side.
Yes,
And now I'm gonna have to come more often now that y'all got these great cigars and people treating us well.
Right here at Concord Mill, baby. Taylor Smoke, place to be. Got me a drink.
So you were saying you decided to stay. You felt like it was the best thing for you to stay there and not look at other schools, which you had opportunities after
Yes,
your first
yes.
year. Yeah. Because I'm assuming you get on the campus and you starting from day one.
Yes, to be honest with you, Charles, the first day I got there at Livingston, I was the number 6 tight end.
Okay.
Number 6. I worked my way up from number 6 all the way to the start.
They didn't have anything.
Well, they had bodies.
Yeah, but they didn't have any data really on you.
No,
Yeah.
No, they didn't. But as a rookie, you go into camp, college. Now they got what 5-star, 6-star, whatever recruit. So with me, come in, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to play college football because I didn't want to go into the military. So I worked my way up from the bottom all the way to the top, and by me signing to go to Smith, that's when they came with this the new rules. So if you're in one school but you signed to go to another school, you have to set out.
Oh.
So
okay.
They didn't catch me in 87, 88, they didn't catch me in 89, they caught me, they made me set out because I had signed to go to Smith, and I had an extra year. So actually another year after 90, I played 90 and then I came out, but we had a conflict, me and Delano Tucker, the head coach. He was like, well, you got one more year, you gonna come back? I said, nah, I ain't coming back, this is it for me. I'm out of here, so.
In the pre-draft lead up, I can remember, you're hearing where you may go. What did you know the Patriots would be the team, or did you kind of have an idea? Because I was 125. I think you were 124.
124 or 121, somewhere around there.
Yeah, we were right around the same.
Yeah.
And I can remember watching the draft, seeing, they were, Ben Coates. Oh, okay, big brother from Livingstone. I didn't know where it was, but I was like, oh yeah. And when they showed some highlights, I'm like, that boy got some juice.
Right. I kind of knew, but I didn't know because Minnesota came so many times to work me out.
Was Denny Green there at the time?
No, Denny wasn't there. I'm not sure who was there as the head coach.
Okay.
Minnesota worked me out like maybe 7, 8 times. The Raiders worked me out. Dallas worked me out. New England worked me out maybe about 4 or 5 times. I'm like, I started asking. I said, "Y'all working me out this much? You gonna make the pull the trigger?" But you got to wait on the draft.
So when you get there, the first 2 years you get some shine. Marv Cook is there. We played y'all twice a year, so we would see y'all all the time. But it was funny because as we were coming up, Kerry and I we'd always get together and just talk. When did you when Drew got there and then Parcells? That just changed. I mean, it was like a trajectory for you. 53 catches, I think, that year. It was just, how did you know in camp, or when did you know you and Drew were going to have such magical moments for that stretch of time?
Well, in the first 2 years I was there, I was ready then, but you had a Pro Bowl in front of you, so kind of like you had to wait until that guy makes that, somebody else come in and somebody makes, guy injured, stuff like that. But unfortunately, you don't like to see the injury, but it happened each and every practice game or preseason training camp. It happens.
Yeah.
So, I was just waiting on the opportunity because the first 2 years, man, I tell you, I must have played so many special teams. But I could do it because I was an athlete. I mean, it didn't matter what, punt team, punt return, kickoff return. When you're at HBCU school, if you the star, like I was the star at Livingstone, you only played offense. Yeah. I played offense and I was the backup punter. Yeah. That was it. Okay. No specialty. Yeah. But, from high school and middle school, growing up, you played all those. So you know if you could do it or not. So, it wasn't a transition for me, but the way it really took off when we drafted Drew in 93, because I would get some shine in 91, 92, but it's only so many balls can go around when you got an Irvin Fryer, you had Michael Timpson, you had a Hartley Dice, you had Marv Cook. So you got so many guys.
I tell people all the time, when Hartley was healthy, I had never seen a guy with the catch radius.
That's bad.
I mean, I saw him in high school. I was at Willow Ridge, he was at Bay City. And people always ask, I said, to this day, because Hartley, basketball, baseball, but the brother could jump out the stadium. I mean,
brother could catch it with one hand.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, man, he's like, wow. Brother could catch. Fortunately, he got his knee injury where he broke his kneecap. I'm like, dude, how y'all get all these injuries? I never heard of these injuries before.
It was catastrophic, kind of in a way. He played, but never was the same. Right. But that was a good learning ground for your training ground because you had an opportunity. You didn't really get to play as much as you wanted.
Right.
When did you know with Drew it was going to be different?
I'd say 1993 when we got Parcell, and then we drafted Drew, and Drew came from Walla Walla, Washington, in Seattle. Drew, we kind of hit it off. Drew was looking for somebody to catch the ball. Drew come from cold climate in Seattle, in Washington. So it was like a marriage made in heaven between me and him. Whenever the game's on the line, he needed to get rid of the ball. He was looking for somebody to catch the ball. I said, hey, Drew, throw it to me. I'm 7'11". He'll tell you now, 7'11". I'm always open. Even when y'all had 2 and 3 people on me, we still throw it to you.
We kind of figured a little bit of how to cover you, but it still didn't stop you. I mean, let's face it, because it's hard. And that's the thing I tell people now. They talk about the tight end position being different. And I use you. I use Keith Jackson.
Right.
There's a bunch of guys in our era that if we played now,
oh man, we have like crazy numbers right now, man.
Sharp, if Sharp was in this,
Shannon would be up there also as far as numbers.
So it's just, but they tend to think, well, y'all didn't use the tight end. I said, no, most teams did. Keith McKellar before us, there were guys that were coming through that played. But then you set the standard with that 90-something catch.
Right, 96.
Yeah, 96 catches. That was the first by a tight end with that number. What was it that made was it Parcells? Was it just the scheme? How did y'all? Because everybody knew they were throwing to you, but they still threw it to you.
Well, what made that is the scheme that we was running, but we also, we also had running backs that had over 1,000 yards every year. Now,
that's right.
Now, where's a running back have 1,000 yards and a tight end have 80 catches? And you got the receivers, everything is kind of equal. That's not lopsided here, or receiver got 130 catches and everybody else only have about 40, 50 catches. Where? So the transition, it changed, and it's been changing more and more lately.
Well, we'll take a short break on Chopping It Up with Buck. We'll be right back with Ben, as Chris Berman would say, winter coats. I don't know if he likes that, but we're going to find out.
Haven't heard that in a while.
How's it going, everybody? My name is James with Taylor Smoke, one of the master blenders here. Just want to say, hey, come on down to Taylor Smoke. You can come check us out over here at Conqueror's Mills, as well as uptown in the New Charlotte Quarter. If you happen to be in the Hickory area, there's a Taylor Smoke in Hickory, as well as Newport News, Virginia. So make sure you come check us out. Cigars, drinks, again, an unparalleled experience right here at Taylor Smoke Cigar Lounge.
At Heslop Wealth Advisors, our goal is to help small businesses develop quality retirement plans for their employees through our Lunch and Learn seminars. We provide lunch and learning tools to help your company succeed and unmatched customer service.
Join us each week and a new celebrity guest on Chopping It Up with Buck. Brought to you by Thin Energy. ThinEnergy.com.
All right, we're back on Chopping It Up with Buck. We've talked about all the cigar places in Charlotte, but also I have to talk about Taylor Smoke. They gave us a nice couple cigars. This is Ben's house, so when you go to somebody else's house, you honor their house. Taylor Smoke, there's one in Concord Mills. There's also one by the Epicenter in Uptown. I like to say downtown, but the people here 19 years later still get on me. So Taylor Smoke. Check it out. So Ben, talking about those Patriots years, how were the New England fans? Because I'm gonna tell you, man, people talk about Buffalo. Buffalo can get rowdy. There's some other places that I played that can get a little crazy. But y'all's fans, man, y'all are extra. They were extra, and I love that. I love their love for the Patriots.
Without a doubt. They've been loving the Patriots for, I want to say back in the '80s when they went to Super Bowl '85. They didn't win it, but those people come out and support the Patriots. I mean, they are die hard from 7 o'clock in the morning. The game's at 1 o'clock. You're like, man, it's 20 below zero, but they're there with the T-shirt off, with the beers in the hand. I'm like, something wrong with y'all? But those are fans. I love them. They with you through thick or thin water. Hot water, cold water. I mean, they're with you. They gonna ride with you. They gonna be with you for life.
What was the coolest part about the transition from college, where you're small HBCU, y'all have fans and everything, but when you go to a stadium like that, even though that stadium wasn't as big, the one now is bigger. When y'all pack, I mean, y'all would have, they would get after it. 87 jerseys up in the stands. What was that like?
Man, I'm telling you, coming from Livingstone to going to Foxborough, man, I remember Dante Scarnecchia. He was my tight end coach, right?
Yeah, I remember Dante.
Dante said, Coach, don't you go looking up in that fucking stand now. I know you used to like 2,000 people in the stand. Don't get nervous. You see 60,000 to 70,000 people. So I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of people in that stand for real. But it didn't faze me. Some guys, it phase coming from smaller school because we don't have that what they have in the NFL or in some of the Division I schools. So the main thing is stay focused, stay on the ground, because where's the game? Right on the ground in front of you, right? So don't get caught up trying to look for your wife, girlfriend, significant other. Nah, you got to play the game. You'll find them once you come on the sideline. You'll find them.
I got to ask you about Bill Parcells. I mean, I've heard so many great stories about him, how hard, how difficult, how tough.
Right.
But Mo Carthorne always said if you were Bill's guy, he was going to ride and die with you. You knew, whether it was LT, whether it was Bavaro, whether it was you and Drew. What was that? What was it like to play for a coach like Bill Parcells?
I mean, he was one of those guys. If you know what you was doing when you was out there on the field, as long as you know what you're doing, he's a good coach, without a doubt. But now, if you're a guy that don't know what you're doing and you're consistently messing up and you're consistently making bad decisions, I mean, I've seen him cut first rounders, I've seen him cut second rounders. A couple of guys came with me, and I'm like, whoa. These guys coming from USC, these guys coming from these big name schools, and they get cut after 2 years? Yeah, because we played back then, first round is going to be on the team and 2 win. His contract's up at least 4 years, right?
They were going to give him every opportunity.
No. This guy was hard known, and like I say, Parcells has inherited so many good tight ends. He had Mark, he had Zeke. So when he came to New England, I was already there. So he inherited myself, and Marv Cook was there. So we got inherited. So we already had a tight end there. They didn't know how to use me before Parcells got there.
Did he tell you guys right away, hey, I'm gonna utilize you, the offensive coordinator?
Well, the offensive coordinator, tight end coach was like, well, we're known for using tight ends back in the past with Mark, Zeke, and we use a lot of double tight ends, and we love tight ends, and the tight ends is like a feature of our offense, the tight end and the running back.
Thinking of the game today, what do you see in the tight end position now compared to when we played in that time, that era?
Well, like I said, there's a lot of good young tight ends out there, a lot of older guys like Kelsey, Kittle, but it's just different. A lot of guys are catching a lot of balls. Some of them block, some of them get in the way to block, but to be the complete tight end, somebody that can block, go down and catch the ball, go down and catch the seam, get back up, come back, block Reggie White, LT. They're not out there anymore.
Could Gronk do that when he was playing?
When Gronk played, Gronk was another guy that was a complete tight end. Jason Witten, I say, was another complete tight end. So yeah, those guys definitely could do it, but look what it did to the body. Look at the toll that it did to the body. It's going to take a toll when you're doing so much that it's going to be hard because run blocking, that takes a lot when you're blocking somebody 300-some pounds. Then you got to turn around and go run a cover 2. You got to run a post route. Quarterback
and the safety's
both running a beam on you right there. Say, hey, you gonna catch it or drop it? What you gonna do?
You got to catch it because you're gonna get hit.
Because your quarterback's like, hey man, I'm throwing you the ball. I'm throwing you the ball.
All you'll tell the quarterback is, look, don't put me way up here. Just give me where I can get it and get in.
I tell Drew, just throw it. I catch it.
I'm saying, you throw it. But give me a chance at it,
right?
And if I get a chance, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna take the hit for you,
right?
I'm not gonna let you get put out there. Well, the other funny thing about that is you just mentioned something about the defensive ends, Bruce, Reggie,
right?
Derek Thomas, Biscuit, Biscuit, and
Tally, Bruce Smith.
Then you go down to the Dolphins. They had guys. We had guys.
Exactly. You guys had guys also. So
I mean, so
Bennett,
y'all had Slade and Tippett and McGinnis. So when you look at the defensive ends you played against, or outside linebacker Sam, because of Banks and all those guys, what was, because I see a difference there. They don't have that big 6'5" thumper on the outside like they used to as a linebacker. That made it tough because they weren't going to let us free release. You had to learn how to get off the damn ball.
Right, yeah, because I remember Banks when he was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Banks like to hit, but
Oh, yeah.
what are you doing? He shocked me the first time he did that. I'm like, dude, you headbutt me. I'm like, it kind of startled me. I said, oh, okay, I got to come up with something different now. I got to do something different now because that's the first time I ever got headbutt by a linebacker.
So he just headbutt.
Yeah. He's in the line. I'm lining up and getting ready to run around because, back when Belichick was with the Browns, if I was tight, they're going to bring everybody to the box. Okay, if I move out, they're going to put one guy here and put Eric Turner or Moore over the top. And Pepper's going to move out a little bit more. So I'm like, okay, y'all 3 guys coming out to 1 guy. Okay, fine. We'll just run the ball. We just run the ball.
E.T. and I went to college together. It was
That's right.
yesterday.
That's right.
And it's crazy. We had some great times in college.
Right.
And he could come up and smack.
Oh, yeah.
They had, the safeties back then.
Right.
Man, them dudes, hey, think about all the guys. There's so many names people ask me who hit. Henry Jones got me one time and busted. I held on to it.
Right.
Came back in the game, but I had like 5 stitches under my chin. I mean, he came and wow, talking about laying out. Right. But I just think about all those safeties that were also guys, alley guys that would come up and just
they come up and knock you, hit you, man. They come up and hit you. So,
well, we're gonna take a short break. On Chopping It Up with Buck, we'll be right back with Ben Winter Coates.
How's it going, everybody? My name is James with Taylor Smoke, one of the master blenders here. Just want to say, hey, come on down to Taylor Smoke. You can come check us out over here at Conqueror's Mills, as well as uptown in the New Charlotte Quarter. If you happen to be in the Hickory area, there's a Taylor Smoke in Hickory, as well as Newport News, Virginia. So make sure you come check us out. Cigars, drinks, again, an unparalleled experience right here at Taylor Smoke Cigar Lounge.
Join us each week and a new celebrity guest on Chopping It Up with Buck. Brought to you by Thin Energy, thinenergy.com.
All right, we're back on Chopping It Up with Buck with my man Ben Winter Coates. Did you like that nickname? Chris Berman started saying it, and it seemed like it's stuck.
I'm gonna tell you, Chris Berman gave me so many different nicknames. Ben Technicality, Ben Winter Coates, Ben Multicolor Coates. I'm like, dude, just give me one. I'm good with one. Just give me one.
Well, we're here at your spot, Taylor Smoke and Concord, and then also there's another one at the Epicenter in Uptown Charlotte. So check them out. They've got a great whiskey bourbon selection, great cigars. Ben and I are smoking one here, and it's really good. So check them out. But yeah, so he gave you all those nicknames, and I was like, well, what? Because every time I turn it on, I'm like, which one is Ben today?
Sports Center. Always at night after we win, it's like, okay, what did Chris Berman call me today? So I'm like, okay, let me check it out. Ben Technicality, I'm like, dude, I thought it was Ben Winter Coates, but everybody got a kick out of it. People still call me Ben Winter Coates, Ben Winter Coates or Coates. I'm like, man, look, all right, we all good. I know who you're talking about.
What's the coolest thing from your pro career that when you think about it now, you're like, man, that was pretty cool. I really enjoy that, or 1 or 2 memories that you think back to?
Being able to play in 2 Super Bowls, losing one, and then had a chance to go back and win another one, because a lot of guys get a chance to play 10, 12 years, never have a chance to experience going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So we had a chance. I had an experience of losing in '96. I tell you that's a low down feeling.
I was gonna ask you, how low did you feel? Because I've heard guys say that.
It stayed with you for a while. It stays with you for a while.
Especially when you're there and you got a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had a chance. We lost to them, and then you got to get up the next day and try to catch that flight to Hawaii, and then you got to go play in the Pro Bowl. You're like, man, we just lost the game. I don't want to play in no Pro Bowl tomorrow. I don't want no practice and deal with this, man. But, that's part of being a professional, and, that was one, the low. And then when I played with the Ravens my last year, 2000, we won the Super Bowl. I'm like, wow, this is how I feel to win, the Super Bowl, coming from HBCU. And, it's just amazing to be at the top of this pedestal. You hear all the stories about once you win a championship, they can never take that away from you, which is true. Yeah. So once you're at the top, you just, in that year, you won that Super Bowl, you'll always be a Super Bowl champ.
5-time Pro Bowler, CIAA Hall of Famer, New England Patriots Hall of Famer.
Black College Hall of Fame. South Carolina Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well,
I can't let you leave them out.
No, I won't leave any of them out. I was still going. But the nominee for the Pro Football Hall of Fame was you, Donald Driver. There's a couple other guys from HBCUs that are on that list. Besides Eddie George is listed, but he because he's at Tennessee State. Robert Mathis.
Okay.
And Steve McNair.
Okay.
Alcorn. You got to say it right. But you have all those Hall of Fame recognitions. Most people say they'd rather win championships, so you did that.
Right.
And I know with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you've been on the list. Have you kind of just said, what do you think about that?
How do I deal with it? How I control and deal with it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. This is how I deal with it. You know, I've been on the list for the last maybe 12, 13, 15 years. You know, the writers votes and the owner vote, you know, it's a matter of time when is when they want to, you know, put a player of my caliber in there, you know, every accolade that I do have. So it's up to them. I'm not going to stop and say, you know what, I'm going to call this person, I'm going to call that person, I'm going to call this person to see if I can get an edge on it. You know, I did what I did. I love what I did, and the accolades are there. So it's up to them to vote me in if they want me in. Yeah. But I'm not going to lose no sleep over it like I did, you know, with losing the Super Bowl. But, you know, I'm not going to lose no sleep. I mean, it is what it is. I see some guys, it's been, 40 years? Some guy, Klecko, get in, and some older guys get in. I mean, it's a prestigious thing to be in the Hall of Fame, to be nominated, you know, quite a few times. But, you know, in due time, I think it will happen, but, you know, I'm not going to stress over it. If I'm gone, I'm gone. But, you know, the kids can reap the benefits or whatever it may be of that situation.
Now, you coached at Livingstone, you coached at Cleveland, but now your sons are at Livingstone.
I coached at Livingstone, did an intern with Dallas. That's when I worked with Jason Witten, Dan Campbell. Then I went to Cleveland, had Winslow Jr., Steve Hyden, Aaron Shea.
How did you like coaching?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. You know, I was kind of on those guys all the time because tight end's my passion. That's why I play. Yeah. So, you know, that's what I like. I like to see the young guys, you know, take the stuff and run with it. Jason was a guy that took all the stuff that I gave to him with the zone, the man, the little trickery stuff that we do as a tight end to get away from stuff and get you know, the holding stuff, the changing the gloves, the push off. So, you know, a lot of the different things like that. Jason, you know, took that, and, you know, he had a great career. I mean, kid had a great career. I'm glad to see Dan doing what he's doing. Now he's the head coach at Detroit. He got hurt, but, you know, Dan learned a lot of stuff. So, I mean, now that I have my sons at Livingstone, I just want them to be able to go to school, get an education. If things happen for them and get shucking up, they get a chance to go to play the next level, that's great. Yeah. But education for them first. That's what I'm looking for.
Gotcha. And one plays defensive end. What's the other one?
Another one play tight end.
Okay.
Ben Jr. play tight end. Okay. Christopher plays linebacker, outside linebacker.
So, did you know one of them was going to play tight end growing up, or you know?
No, they both. I got three sons. All three of my boys play defense. Two play defensive end, and Chris played linebacker. I'm like, dude, y'all don't want to come on the dark side? No, Daddy, they make more money on defense. I'm like, dude, really? The offense make money too. It's just, you got to be good enough. That's all. You got to be good enough and be able to get recognized.
Yeah. So we got a tight end that loves corner routes. We got to get Ben on some of those. We're going to get deep here. We're going 2-minute offense with Ben Coates. Steak or fish?
Fish.
Why?
Fish is more healthy. I don't want that heavy stuff when I'm going to play on the football field. I do not want that heavy stuff.
Hey, Ben, it's so funny. I was just telling somebody this week. I had chicken, fish, maybe beef in the last 2 weeks, very little. I've tried to start eating more healthy, but I feel better. Whenever you do, I mean, I'm working out, but you can just tell the difference when you're eating less heavy
meat.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm a big fish guy now. I'm trying to slim down. I'm trying to stay away from the red meat because it takes too long to digest it.
Yeah, that's good. Well, you moving down the field on that one for me. When you think mountains or beach?
I'm going to the beach.
Okay. South Carolina, North Carolina, it don't.
Hey, wherever the water is, it's gonna be some beautiful women there. So I'm going to the beach. I'm telling you right now.
Well,
What we gonna do in the mountain? I'm not running from no bears or mountain lions. Nah, I'm not going up there.
well, man, you getting down the field. That's 2 big plays. We almost in the red zone now, man. That's easy.
Hey, that was my area, right?
Yeah. What's in your Spotify, your Apple Music, or what you jamming when you're in the car?
Man, I listen to King George, man.
Okay.
Yeah, King
Yeah.
George.
What about that music that you like?
It's like jazz to get me moving, get me in the mood, to drive, and what I'm doing, I'm getting ready. Like back in the day, I'm getting ready for the game. It's game time. I'm riding to the game. Even though I'm not playing, my sons are playing. I'm just getting hyped, getting ready to play the game. I'm like, dude, calm down. You don't play no more.
Well, man, you got it inside the 5, man. We in scoring position.
Oh man, we about to use Leonard Russell or Curtis Martin.
Well, we could, but since we got you, we're gonna make
Right.
sure you get in there.
Right.
When you think about like if you could have dinner with somebody or a couple of people now, who would that be? Like if you could have dinner one more time with somebody, who would that be?
Now, that's a good question because most of the guys I do know, we tend to frequently contact each other when we're in each
But
other's
maybe it's
state.
somebody that that you're famous, maybe it's a family member, somebody that you haven't been able to, but if you could have dinner one more time.
I would say my brother that's deceased. He's been deceased for like 6 years, so I would say my oldest brother.
Was he a big influence on your life?
He was the one that influenced me to go this route with college. You know, stay with him. He was like, "Nah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this." He's the one that pushed me. We're gonna work out. We're gonna do this. We're gonna catch balls every day, and you know, he was my biggest influence.
What was his name?
Gary Coates. Gary and Gerald Coates. Gary and Gerald Coates, they got me up to Livingstone. They brought me back. Man, we used to go back and forth, man. I got the one story I got to tell you about
tell me.
other brother. My brother Gerald, he'll come pick me up. You know, we in Greenwood, South Carolina, right?
Okay.
All right, it's in the middle now. Greenwood is here, Columbia is here, Greenville is here. Hey man, I got this brother, he driving from Greenwood. He gets to North Columbia. Bruh, I'm about 30 minutes away. I said, bro, you just left an hour ago. It takes 2.5 hours. Well, oh, bro, I'm in North Columbia. He thought he was in North Carolina. Like, dude, you still got 2 hours to go. But that's how it is, you know, when people from a small town, you don't go too many places outside of about an hour out. They don't know a lot. But when you get people who start going outside of it, people traveling, people doing here, people going there, it's a big world out there from South Carolina and other different places in the world, not just South Carolina. You know, now he's in Afghanistan working over there. He can't seem to stay at home now.
That's great, man. Well, you scored on that one, man.
All right.
This is to.
All right, I scored.
All right. All right. Well, man, it's good having my man Ben on. We'll do it again. Check us out on Chopping It Up with Buck. We were here at Taylor Smoke. Nice sticks, nice libations.
My place. My
Bed
place.
spot.
How's it going, everybody? My name is James with Taylor Smoke, one of the master blenders here. Just want to say, hey, come on down to Taylor Smoke. You can come check us out over here at Conqueror's Mills, as well as uptown in the New Charlotte Quarter. If you happen to be in the Hickory area, there's a Taylor Smoke in Hickory, as well as Newport News, Virginia. So make sure you come check us out. Cigars, drinks, again, an unparalleled experience right here at Taylor Smoke Cigar Lounge.